So I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while now, and this video will be about comparing Dying Light 1 to Dying Light 2, all of the good and bad things. So with that being said, let's start off with the flashlight. The flashlight dynamic is amazing. So there's dynamic flashlight, and what I mean by that is, let me show you. The flow of it, it's smooth, and it has a delay which adds to immersion. Like, look at this, up, down. You see how it moves differently? And I'll show you the difference in Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 flashlight is just stiff. You see, there's no delay movement. It's just stiff. And that sucks. It actually looks like trash. Feels like trash as well. They downgraded the flashlight. Anyways, moving to the next topic. Dying Light 1 is a masterpiece. And the way it feels to chop off zombie heads and limbs in slow motion is just amazing. I will show you what I mean in just a second. So there's a viral coming. I will show you how easy and how quick it is to slash off the head. Look at that. And there is two different types of chopping animation. Look, there's dong slashing for chopping off limbs in Dying Light 1. And you can chop off each and every single limb, hand, foot, everything. Also, the virals. Now look at this. Look at the difference. This is Dying Light 2 here now. There's only one animation, side to side. There's no dong slashing animation, so they completely cut content on this. Look at that. And sometimes you're trying to chop off a limb and it doesn't come off. Like sometimes you're trying to chop off the head, it doesn't come off. I'll see if I can show you here on this one. Alright, and it just doesn't feel the same way as the first game. Look, chop off a hand and a foot, and this foot just doesn't want to come off. It just feels awkward. But Dying Light 1, it feels scary. It's like the way the virals keep coming at you, it's just amazing. And the physics, it works. You know, the ragdoll physics is spectacular. Look at that. Right? You just can't beat this game. I don't know where and when Techland went bad and just lost their mojo, but man, I really wish they could get it back. Like, Dying Light, the Beast is coming out soon, and I hope that it's more like Dying Light 1. Because if you're charging $60 to $70 for a game, it better be damn well good. You know what I mean? Yeah, it better be worth the money. They better put out the work. You know, put in the work, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, so moving to the next topic. What do we want to talk about? Let's see. Let's talk about the story. Dying Light 1 story, side quest, replayable side quest, and other things that the game implements you to do is just amazing. It's phenomenal. It's fun. It brings back out the inner child in you. It makes you feel like a kid again. And no matter how old you get, you could always keep coming back to the game and keep having fun. Now, Dying Light 2, I could say the complete opposite to that game. It's not fun. It's boring. And most of the NPC dialogues and stuff, it just feels off. You know, it's like, I don't know who they hired to talk in these dialogues, but it doesn't feel right. And sometimes the way, you know, zombies react when you hit them and stuff, it's just weird. They need to go back to their roots. Alright, so with that being said, let's move on to the next topic. Weapons degrading. Weapons degrade over time. As you can see, this weapon here has damage on it. And I'm just trying to completely destroy it here in this video, in this clip, so that I can repair it and show you the difference. So weapons is degradable, and you could physically see the weapon being degraded. It gets damaged over time, and you can see it in game. And you could also repair your weapon right there. You can go into your inventory and repair it, or you could just press triangle and repair your weapon. Look, it's brand new now. In Dying Light 2, however, you cannot repair your weapons. You have to go to a vendor to repair your weapons. And it just takes away from the immersion. Also, weapons do not degrade in Dying Light 2. It just always remains looking good. It probably gets a little bloody, that's all. But it always looks like it's brand new, but it breaks over time. Also, look at these fishes. There's fish underwater and stuff. I think Dying Light 2 also has fishes. I'm not sure about that, so I'll have to check that as well. Let's move to the next topic. So, Dying Light 1, you cannot dropkick an enemy. You cannot dropkick an enemy or a zombie by just simply standing up and dropkicking them. You must fast run in order to dropkick an enemy. And that's something that Dying Light 2 has improved upon. You could dropkick an enemy by just standing up and dropkicking them. Press R1 and then L1 2 times, and you could dropkick them. You could do it while fast running or just normal. You could also, they also upgraded certain things in Dying Light 2, such as the parkour. The parkour feels way more immersive, way more dynamic. You know, you could hold down L1 to jump much higher, or you could just tap it to do a normal jump. And there's other jump features you could do as well. Also, sliding, you could just tap the O button to slide, or you could hold it down to slide much further for much longer. So that's a nice little upgrade. There's a few more things, but we'll not get into that right now. So Dying Light 2 did do quite a few things better than Dying Light 1. However, the parkour and stuff in Dying Light 1 was not bad. It's pretty average. It's actually really good for its time. But I just love the zombie physics and stuff from Dying Light 1. I prefer Dying Light 1 compared to Dying Light 2. Even the aesthetics, the environment, how it looks, the graphics, everything looks like an upgrade compared to the second game, which shouldn't be the case. The second game should be an upgrade. Let's talk about safe zones. Safe zones in Dying Light 1 all look different. It has different interiors, different designs inside, different sizes, and some of them is just houses, some of them are apartments. It's amazing. There's also the slums, and there's Old Town. Two different maps in the game. And yeah, then there's also a DLC called The Following. So that's more of an open field for the vehicle and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So also the world isn't flat in Dying Light 1. It's actually kind of like real life. It isn't one big flat world. In Dying Light 2, however, it is just a flat plane. The only thing is different about it is that the buildings are much taller. But if the interiors all look the same, especially all of the safe zones are actually identical, and that takes away from immersion. You have to be constantly watching your map to know, have I been here before? Am I at the same spot? Or what's going on? It's very confusing. And when Dying Light 2 first came out, the nighttime system looked like daytime. It literally was just a little bit darker, but it was terrible. And then they added the update called the Gritty, or Dark and Gritty, or just Darker Nights. And I think there's another one, I'm not sure. So these things added improvement. I personally play on Gritty. just to change it up a little bit, kind of look like Dying Light 1. And the nights are much darker when you play in that mode. Also, they added roaming volatiles, which will roam around on top rooftops and stuff like that, because when Dying Light 2 first came out, there was no volatiles. There was these screamers, and when the screamers scream, then a chase will be started and volatiles will start running you down. So they added an update that fixed that. Also, the gore, blood and gore, has been ramped up in the second game, and I pretty much still prefer the first game. They try to ramp that up in the second game to kind of like, come back to how the first game was, and they still didn't do a good job at it. So that's that. The next thing I want to discuss is the grappling hook. The grappling hook in the first game was amazing. It worked. You go from point A to point B. As you can see in the second game here, the grappling hook uses stamina, and even if your stamina isn't fully run out, sometimes the grappling hook doesn't work. It's kind of like broken. So that really sucks. But the grappling hook in the first game, it works. It pulls you from point A to point B, exactly what you want. And I'm glad that they are bringing back the grappling hook from the first game in Dying Light the Beast. So that's that. Also, let's talk about the day and night cycle in Dying Light 1 and 2. When I say the day and night cycle, I don't mean nighttime and daytime, because both games has that pretty good now. However, in Dying Light 1, the sun and the moon moves across the sky, just like in real life. And the zombies would stay up at it and look at, the beauty of it when the sun is setting or when the sun is rising. And that is just amazing to me. However, in Dying Light 2, the zombies don't pay no attention to the sun or the moon, and the sun and moon do not move across the sky. It just appears, disappears, appears above head in the middle of the map, above head in the world, and then disappears from there and appear to the end of the map. And then it becomes night, and the cycle repeats with the moon doing the same exact thing. So that really sucks. One other good thing that Dying Light 2 did was they implemented finishers. Finishers is a nice touch to the game, but it should feel more like Dying Light 1, chopping off heads, hands, and stuff like that, and also have the finisher when the enemy reaches a certain health, because the stronger you get is the easier it'll be to defeat enemies, and sometimes one slash is all it takes to kill an enemy. So yeah, as you can see, the hit reactions is different. Sometimes I'm chopping somewhere else, but it's chopping somewhere else. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, where are the hitbox? I really don't get it. And why can't I take off certain limbs? It's really stupid. How could they go from having one of the best games to having a trash ass game like this? I don't understand. It feels like rush content. Like they should just leave it in the oven for longer to bake. It kind of feels like Dying Light 2 was more of a experiment, like to experiment on the parkour system and stuff and see what new things they could implement. But it never felt like a sequel, to be honest. Another thing I want to discuss is the premise of Dying Light the Beast. It's really based on the Baron. And the Baron is a man who experiments on these zombies, and he created a new type of volatile, which is called the Chimera. It's a mix of the volatile with some other zombies, and he didn't only create one, but there's multiple different types of creations that Techland is not even telling us about yet. Like I saw in the trailer, there's a different type of Banshee. There's also, I think, volatiles that goes invisible and has like electricity running around them. Or that could be also chimeras, I'm not sure. But they do look more bulkier, more buffer than a normal volatile though, so that's that. One thing I would have liked them to implement was, you know, make it so that Byron was doing more experiments, and he experimented on lizards and zombies and created a genome of this kind of lizard man, make it kind of buff with the clothes all ripped up and stuff, sharp teeth, claws, and it could, attack you, spit acid from its mouth, make it pretty cool. And there's so much things they could play around with and make the story interesting. They can make rat people, different experiments that the Baron worked on, So we know Kyle Crane is the beast, or one of the beasts in the game, and he has these beast-like abilities because he has been incarcerated for 13 years by the Baron, being experimented on, and that's why he has these abilities. Now he's different from Aiden Cornwell from the second game, because Aiden was unable to be able to control his powers. He had no control over his powers, it just happened. However, Kyle Crane, he has the ability to control his powers. He can turn into the beast whenever he's taking too much damage or when he's dealing damage.